Good morning, everybody in Chesel class, working from home. We have got 1 week left until half-term holidays, 1 week of a bit more writing to do. Today, very little writing. Okay, so what you're going to need today is you're going to need some colouring pens or some colouring pencils. Okay, you are going to need access to some Lego or some Play-Doh. Okay, as we talk about our instructions. So today is a bit of fun. So there are 3 different activities today, and then there's a little bit of writing in your book about the 3 different activities. So our objective for today is to follow a set of instructions, and I'm going to give you 3 different types of instructions to follow. You're going to need to be able to listen carefully. You're going to need to do some reading, and then you're going to need to do some looking and some interpreting at some pictures as well. Okay, but first of all, before we get into one of those activities, when do we use instructions? That's my question to you. What do we need instructions for? When might you use them? When might your grown-ups use them? So pause the video now, have a little bit of a discussion with your grown-ups about what type of instructions or when you might use them. I'll come up with a few examples myself, but also use this opportunity to go and get yourself some Play-Doh, some Lego, or some colouring pens as well. Okay, have your discussion. Okay, now you are fully equipped for the rest of today's lesson. When might we use instructions? So, the easiest one, and something I've got to do after I've finished this video, is when you are cooking. When you are cooking or making any kind of thing in the kitchen, you would use instructions. Okay, you might use instructions to find somewhere. Or when you're going somewhere new. You would use your sat-nav would give you instructions. So to find something or to go somewhere. Oh, what is going on with that? Find something or to go somewhere. You might be building something for the first time. So you might be building some furniture, or which will also need instructions. Okay, you might play a game. Games have instructions. So do electronic things. So if you've got like a tablet or something like that, it will come with or a phone. It will all come, or a microwave or a cooker. It will all come with instructions. So something electronics. You might have instructions to make something. So those are just some of the things that I can think of in a couple of minutes. You might have come up with way more than that. You do not need to write it in your book, okay? Don't worry about it. It's just a discussion for now. Okay, so the first activity then. There are 3 sets of instructions I'm going to give you. The first one is a verbal instruction. So that means I'm going to give you an instruction. It's a bit like Simon Says, okay? So I give you an instruction. You will need to colour in one of the monsters that particular colour. Okay, so you need to listen really, really carefully. Are you ready? Okay, so the first instruction, and I'll read them both twice. It says, colour the first monster's left wing red. That's colour the first monster's left wing red. Pause it if you want to. Colour it in red. Try and do this by yourself, but if you desperately need grown-up help, then that's fine. Okay, next instruction. So if you haven't finished, just pause the video now. So next instruction. Colour the middle monster's right arm green. Colour the middle monster's right arm green. Okay, I'm about to go on to the next one, so pause if you need. Number 3, colour the first monster's legs blue and green. And you can decide how you want to do that. Colour the first monster's legs blue and green. Okay, I'm about to go on to number 4, so pause it if you need to. Number 4 is colour the last monster's wings yellow and black. That's colour the last monster's wings yellow and black. Okay, instruction number 5. Colour the middle monster's legs blue and green. That's colour the middle monster's legs blue and green. Okay, instruction number 6. Colour the first monster's right wing blue. Colour the first monster's right wing blue. Okay, number 7. Colour the middle monster's body pink and purple. Colour the middle monster's body pink and purple. That might take you a bit of time, so pause the video if you haven't done it, because I'm going to move on to instruction number 8. Number 8, put pink spots on the last monster's face. Put pink spots on the last monster's face. Right, you've got 2 instructions to go. Okay, number 9, put green spots on the first monster's face. Put green spots. Put green spots on the first monster's face. Okay, and number 10 says, finish the pictures with any colours you choose. So you can choose whatever hasn't been coloured in, you can choose whatever colours you want. Okay, pause it now while you finish off your picture, because I'm going to show you what most of it should look like. Okay, so pause now. Okay, so you've got some finished pictures. This is roughly what it should look like. Okay, so we had the first monster's left wing red, the right arm green, the first monster's legs blue and green. Now you could have done any way you wanted to for that. I decided to kind of do them stripy. Colour the last monster's wings yellow and black. Colour the middle monster's legs blue and green. Colour the first monster's right wing blue. Colour the middle monster's body pink and purple. That was a purple when I did it. It looks bluey now. And put pink spots on the first monster's face, on the last monster's face, and green spots on the first monster's face. And then finish the pictures with any colour you chose. So I decided to choose to put an orange, that is meant to be orange horns and an orange right arm, but I left the other ones completely blank. It's up to you what you did with the other bits. Now, what I would like you to do is to stick that in your English books with activity 1 written above it. Okay, so activity 1, just like this. And if you could put today's date in as well. I can't spell activity. activity 1 with today's date, which I believe is the 8th. No, and it's not 8.1, it's 8.2 now. So today's date and activity 1. Okay, are you ready for activity 2? So you're going to need some Play-Doh or some Lego for this. Okay, what I want you to do is, the Play-Doh one's probably going to be the easiest one. I want you to see if you can either make, just using this picture, I want you to see if you can make a Play-Doh snail that looks like one of these. Okay, you don't have to make them all, just one. Or can you try and make that Lego car, or a Lego car that's like it? Okay, now if this is too hard, what you could try and do is, if you do have some Lego at home, get a small model or something and try and make it just from the picture on the front. So you can get all the pieces first, but just from the picture on the front. So you're not actually allowed to look at the step-by-step instructions on your model. That's why it's important that it's a really simple one. Can you do it? Okay. And when you have done it, so you can pause the video at any point and come back to it when you're done, I just want you to think, and I want you to talk to your grown-up, or to anybody really. Was this activity, as in activity 2, was it easier or harder than the colouring activity for number 1? If you thought it was more difficult, why? Or if you didn't think it was more difficult, why not? Okay, again, there's no need to do any writing at the moment. I just want you to think about which was the easier activity to do. Okay, and why it might be easier or harder. Right then, so pause the video now and do activity 2. Okay, so you've had a go at making a Play-Doh snail or a car or a particular Lego model that you might have at home. So activity 3. What I'd like you to do actually is, if you have made a snail or a Lego model, could you take a photo? If you can take a photo of it and either send it to me on my email address, or print it out and stick it in your book with activity 2 written, so underneath your monster picture, that'd be grand. And then there's activity 3. So for activity 3, you're going to need the how to make a biscuit bridge instructions. I want you to read through them, and you don't actually have to follow them unless you want to. If you want to have a go at making a biscuit bridge, that's absolutely fine. But if you don't, just read through the instructions. Okay, and once you've read through the instructions, have a little bit of a chat to your grown-up again about which one you think was easier. So you've now had 3 activities. This is the writing bit in your book. So you're going to tell me which one was the easiest and which one was the hardest. So if you thought activity 3 was harder, you would say, I think activity 3 was harder because, and then give a reason why. You might have think that activity 1 was easier, so I think cross my T, activity, apologise for the horrible handwriting. I think activity 1, oh, I'm going to have to start that again. Activity 1 was easiest because. So you're writing 2 sentences only in your book about which one was the easiest one, which one was the hardest, and saying why. That's it. That's the only bit of writing for today. I hope this was a bit of fun. because that's what it's meant to be. It's not meant to be hard. It is meant to be a little bit of fun. And what we're going to do for the rest of the week is we're going to have a look at the biscuit instructions. We're going to have a look at some of the features of those instructions, and we're then going to have a go at writing our own instructions for the suspension bridge that we'll be building in science. Now, if for some reason you don't get to write or to do the suspension bridge for science because you haven't got the right resources or you just don't have the time, then you can write a set of instructions for anything, really. I will leave it up to you. We'll talk about this more on Wednesday when we come to plan our instructions, but it's just to give you an idea of what we're going to do this week. I didn't want to do it again after half term, so we've kind of crammed instruction writing into 1 week, but hopefully we will do some more instruction writing later on in the year and kind of spend a bit more time on it, really. I think it's going to be a bit crammed in this week, but we're going to give it a go. Okay, this is the end of Monday's video. Come back tomorrow for the next bit of English, where we're going to look at the features of instruction text, and we're going to have a look at one particular thing that you will find in every set of instructions. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.